So I am going to show you how I make kombucha. I have a friend that has been wanting to try it, so I gave her one of my Scobys so that she could make her own. The way I got started with making kombucha was my mother-in-law got me a kombucha kit for Christmas. This was the kit that I got. It was from Amazon, and I've been using the Scoby that I got from this over a year ago. It just keeps growing and growing, and I keep getting more and more Scobies. So this is what I use. And I've kept the instructions so that I can follow them. So far I haven't had any issues other than the fact that I let one of my jars brew a little too long and it turned into vinegar. First thing I need to do is get 4 cups of water and get it boiling on the stove. I'm going to actually do 2 batches today. So these are the teas that I use. I have black tea and I have green tea. And I got both of these bags from Amazon. So we've been drinking kombucha for about a year. Thomas doesn't like it, but Chad and I both enjoy it. And if you buy it in a store, it's kind of expensive. So that's why we started brewing it ourselves. Now, drinking kombucha isn't for everyone. So I have some links in the description of this video that you can check out and see if drinking kombucha would be right for you or if it wouldn't be. There are some health benefits, although there haven't been a lot of studies with humans and the benefits, but there have been studies with animals. So you can check that out, figure out for yourself whether or not it's right for you and your family. I also will put a link for You Brew Kombucha. She has a lot of great videos about how to brew kombucha, and she answers a lot of the questions you might have. I still consider myself a newbie at this, so I would definitely recommend going to some other YouTube videos and learning more about it yourself as well. I think we're boiling. After your water has been boiling, you need to get your tea and put it into steep. So I'm going to use 7 bags, and I'm going to do some green tea and I'm going to do some black tea. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I got 8. I'll do 8. I will let this steep for about 7 minutes. So I'll put a timer on, and after 7 minutes, then we'll add our sugar. So now I can take out my tea bags and I will add 1 cup of sugar to each of my teas. So now what you need, while that sugar is dissolving, you need 8 cups of cold water that's going to go into your gallon jar. Now, we don't use our well water. I have filtered water in bottles that we use, so it's usually around room temperature. So I try to remember to put some in a jar and put it in the refrigerator on days when I'm planning to make kombucha. Now I'm going to add my sweet tea concoction to my jars. One's black tea, one's green tea. Alright, so now we're ready to add the Scoby. This is my Scoby jar with my Scoby Hotel. So these are my Scobies. I'll go through them so that I can keep healthy ones. This looks healthy. It's got a little bumpy thing there, but so I think I have some other healthier ones. So I'm gonna put this one in the compost. That's a good looking one right there. I'm gonna put that in my green tea jar. It might float, it might sink. Whatever happens, it's all good. A good looking one too. I'll put that in this other jar. Oh, he got weird. Let's see. There's a nice thick one. I wonder if I should put that in there too. Put that one in there too. I'll put 2 in there. The rest I'll put back in my hotel, which I just cleaned out. Yeah, I'll put that one over here in this other jar too. Alright, so now you're ready to put a covering over your jars. I've not used these before, but I'm going to try it this time. I have coffee filters. Usually I just have a piece of cloth. This here was from a pillowcase that I cut up into pieces, and that's usually what I use, but I thought I'd try coffee filters. So we'll put the coffee filter on. Take a rubber band. So now it takes 8 to 10 days to ferment. I have a shelf that I put mine on, and I usually do 14 days. That's typically what I do, is 14. And then after 14 days, you take the Scoby out. I'll put it in my hotel where you can start a new batch. Now during the first fermentation, you might have another Scoby grow. So then you'll have 2 Scobies. So it's kind of like little jellyfish. Now you may get some, if your Scoby did go to the bottom, you may get some little bubbles on top, and that's just the yeast. But there are issues with mold that people run into. I try to be extremely careful with washing my hands, making sure I scrub and use good soap to make sure that I have clean hands whenever I'm touching my Scoby and my kombucha, because mold can grow. if it gets too cold or if it gets too hot. If something gets in there, then mold can grow. So just keep a lookout for that whenever your 14 days is up. Or it says, the directions I have say 8 to 10, but when I've tasted it at those during that time frame, it just hasn't tasted strong enough to me. So it's all a preference thing. That's up to you. So good luck. And in about 14 days, I will do my second fermentation. And I hope that you enjoy your brew.